Hi, welcome, welcome, welcome. This is Kelly Bono, and we are going to start our breaking free from anxiety, depression, and fear. So I have this makeshift kind of tripod thing going on. It's actually a candle holder with a candle in it. Okay, I'm sorry, I got a barking dog. I should have put him downstairs. But anyway, okay, hold on. I might have to put him downstairs. Max, come here, buddy. Okay, perfect. Hold on. See this cute little doggy? He just seems to bark all the time. So you just seem to bark. Oh, hey, Jessica. How are you? Hey, Donna. Hey, Holly. Yay, yay, yay. Okay, so sorry, I got a barking dog, so just ignore that. I've got someone here to watch the baby. Oh, my goodness. I might have to just take a moment and put him up. Hold on. Max, let me grab him and put him in a bedroom real quick, just so that way. We got construction going on next door, so he's come here, baby. He's excited. Okay, I'm gonna run, put him in a bedroom. I will be right back. 2 seconds. Hey, buddy. Okay, perfect. Yay. Hey, Sonia. Yay. Hey, Jessica. Yay. Okay, he's in a room, but you can kind of hear him barking, but I'll get him out no later. Okay, so today's topic is a big one. I think that most people on the planet are really living with a level of anxiety and fear and depression that really doesn't have to be. And I know when I start talking like that, people think that I am crazy, and I mean crazy, but I really do feel that there's a level of anxiety now on the planet, especially with all these mass shootings. So hold on, real quick. Dog got out.
I'll put him downstairs.
Okay.
Yes, come on.
Okay, hold on. Oh, thanks. My friend Christine's helping me watch the baby and get the dog out. Oh, I love you, girl. Thank you so much. Hold on, here. I'll grab him. Come here, Max. Come here, Max. Hey.
All right.
Okay.
He was in the room. But
Yeah, well, I put him in there just so
I
I
know,
can
no.
say, hey, come here.
And then I just
Come here,
talked to him.
come here, come here, come here. Oh, my little baby. Okay, I love you. Oh, thank you. My beautiful friend Christine, thank you. You're a godsend. I love you. Thank you. Oh, I love it, right? Sometimes when we try to do something big, all of a sudden all this stuff will come in your way just so that it kind of stops you. And so today I really had to make a plan to have someone help me with the baby, and then sure enough, the dog shows up out of nowhere wanting to get crazy. So, okay, so before we start, I just want to kind of just take a quick moment and just ask God to kind of speak through me and to flow through me and to have spirit flow, because I really do believe that this is something that's easy and effortless. But if we're not in the place to receive it, it's going to be very hard to receive this. So, Lord, just please be with me, pray through me, let me flow with ease and grace. Help me help people for the highest good of everyone that's on the call. And anything that I speak that doesn't serve anyone, just let it kind of roll over them. And anything that's really supposed to be meant for the heart, that it will just shoot straight to the heart and really help set people free today. Thank you, and I praise you, and I just want to be your vessel. Yay. Okay, so I love that. Yay. So now I'm going to ask you to put your hand on your heart. And if you're doing something else, or if you're driving, definitely don't do this. You can come back and watch the replay. We are not wanting anyone to get hurt in the process, but definitely put your hand on your heart and kind of just tap it. And I want you to take in 3 slow, deep breaths. And what the tapping does is it just really gets you connected with your heart, right? Because a lot of times fear, anxiety, and depression live right up in here. It's that circle that's swirling around, and we want to just really anchor into the heart. When we get connected to our heart, things melt away. Fear melts away. Anxiety melts away. So I just want you to repeat after me. If you can repeat this out loud, you definitely want to repeat this out loud. This is going to be some of you are going to start breaking free and getting shifts immediately. Some of you, it's going to maybe be a little bit later in the course. And I'm just holding that if this is supposed to be a 1-part course, it's going to be a 1-part course. If it's supposed to be a 2-part, if it's supposed to be a 3-part, I'm just going to kind of go wherever Spirit guides me, wherever the Holy Spirit guides. And I'm just going to kind of be open to whatever that process looks like. So go ahead and tap and take 3 deep breaths in. Repeat after me. I am so grateful for today. I am so filled with love. Joy, goodness, kindness, happiness are mine. Today is the day that I'm going to live in the moment. I'm not going to worry about the past or worry about the future. For I know in the past, living and dwelling, there's a sense of depression. I know when I'm scared of my future, there's a sense of anxiety. I'm going to choose to live in the present moment, right now, right here, today. Just breathe that in. A lot of times we stop breathing when we get into the spirit of fear, anxiety, depression. We start to literally cut off our oxygen. And when we start cutting off our oxygen, it makes us kind of like short breath, and we just kind of can put air into our lungs, air into our body. And the beautiful thing about air is it's free, it's readily available. We have the same air supply. Half of us are not getting it into our body. And, you know, people on the planet that are taking their last breaths would give anything to breathe as deeply as you are able to breathe right here, right now. So just kind of hold that in. And for you guys, just so you know, the last 2 lives I've done, one last night for my team and one, I have got the notes rocking, right? I've got the notes rocking. So for me, if you guys know me, that is way out of my comfort zone. And I just want to just be 100% transparent. When I posted that I was going to do this course for you, a level of fear and anxiety came up for me. Not so much depression, but fear and anxiety that was like crazy. So I knew that this whole week, getting ready for this course, stuff was starting to come up and manifest, because if I couldn't walk myself through it, how can I ever walk anyone else through it? And fear and anxiety, just so you kind of know, fear and anxiety, I've never really had a level of anxiety. I've always kind of been more going into depression. And then when I got pregnant, and I've lived in depression, like I think it was from 25, no, maybe even 23 to maybe 26, 27, I really struggled very deeply. Well, it was before I got married, so I got married at 27. So right around freshman year of college into like maybe the whole college years, I would literally get excited for 6 months out of the year, and then I would fall into this deep, deep, deep depression. It was normally over a breakup. It was normally over someone said something that hurt me. It was over something, very, looking back, it was like not trivial, but it just crushed me, and it would cause me to go into this deep state of depression, and it would almost take like a small act of God to get me out of it. And so many of you might be struggling today, and many of you might be saying, oh my gosh, she is speaking to me. Or maybe it's fear of the future. Maybe, when you're younger, something happened and it just created a level of fear in you that you're like, I just cannot get rid of this thing. It's a monster and it's spinning out of control. So what I really want to say today is that when we're open for flow, and I hope that you got your journals. I brought my journal. I hope you guys are bringing your journal, because I'm going to start to ask you to journal, and I'm going to start to ask you to get really clear on what it is that you truly desire, what you truly want. If we cannot identify the fear, if we cannot identify the anxiety, if we cannot identify, we cannot get healed and set free. Does that kind of understand? And this participation, hey Richard, hello. Fear is the feeling of calling. So yes, if we cannot get rid of this kind of level of fear and you cannot identify it, then we can definitely not conquer it, right? What you don't know in this world, like in this realm, will definitely hurt you, right? If you do not know what the fear is. So right now I want you to take out your journal, take out your pen, and I want you to write every single thing that is stressing you out. Even if when we breathed, if you felt your heart was tense, if you felt your shoulder was tense, maybe your head started to hurt. When a lot of times when we're overcoming and conquering things, just like you saw, like the dog starts barking and everything, right before there's a breakthrough, there's this normal amount of chaos. My friend Rebecca, she's like, are you ready to start living in the weird? And I'm like, oh my gosh, yes, we're living in the weird. So I love it. So go ahead and start to just write down every single thing that's stressing you out. And if you want, hey Tracy, if you want to go ahead and just start to like on this news feed, start to kind of just say things out. A lot of times this is what happens. When we are like closed in with our fear, we're closed in with our anxiety, we're closed in with our depression, we're alone, we're not wanting anyone to know what's really going on in here. and we do not get it out in some way, shape, or form, it will manifest into so many things. Addictions, drugs, you name it. There are so many things that anxiety, fear, and depression will manifest in. Half the addiction. I mean, I truly believe that we're on a time and day that everyone is in so much emotional pain that it's manifesting in the physical pain, and people think that they are really in physical pain, because emotional pain actually feels 1,000 times greater than physical pain. Emotional pain, when you are emotional, and you will seek out opiates, you will seek out drugs, you will seek out the next high, because you are just doing anything to change your state, because your state is in so much pain. So today we are going to work on the state change. We're going to work on how to take a manic, I don't want to mean like manic, but like a radical shift into your your happiness, your health, your emotional well-being. And this sometimes can be hard to look at. So I just encourage you, if there's anything that's stressing you out, if you're bold enough, if you're brave enough, I do feel that those who play full out get the deepest reward. If you will start to type what stresses you out, bills, money, I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy. If you'll just start to kind of journal those out, and if you want to start typing to the degree, so this is what I kind of say, to the degree that you are willing to let go and forgive whatever the offenses are, is the degree to which you will be set free, right? So if you cannot even identify what's going on, and maybe your journal, and I've seen this before, just so that way if there's one of you or two of you out there, maybe it is you're so angry, you just want to start to scribble. And maybe this is what your journal entry will look like. And maybe it's just over and over and over and over and over again. There's so much energy inside you, and maybe it's anger and maybe it's frustration. Start to just get it out. You really want to get all that is inside of you out, because what's happening is if it's staying inside of you and it's getting stuck, it is going to knock you over like a tsunami with depression. And that's just really the reality of it. Most people have no idea that in 20 seconds, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, it does not take years of therapy. Let me just tell you, it does not take years of therapy to get set free. It can happen in a moment. But you have to be willing to identify with it. You have to be willing to step into your greatness, and you have to be willing to own it, right? If we keep using they did this to me, they did this to me, they did that to me. And let me just tell you, we have all been hurt. Every single one of us on this planet, if you are planet Earth, you are living, you are breathing, we all have our stories. We have all been majorly wronged. I am not talking about somebody, I know people that have lost a family member to the fact that someone killed them. Do you know what I mean? Murder. So we are talking, I am not asking you to say, that didn't matter. That absolutely 100% mattered. What I'm trying to do is get you to a level that you are freed of that, right? You can still know that what they did was absolutely wrong. They do need to be held to a higher standard, but it doesn't hold you back, right? Because the level that we are ready to let go of, to get freed of, to write a different story, is the level that we can be free. So if you can kind of play with me. So whatever it is, whatever's coming forward. I'm watching, okay, let's see. Losing my mom, yes. Donna, money, not good enough, can't do it. Donna, yes. Okay, so write all this stuff down. Money, there's not enough money. There's never enough money, right? The billionaires say that there's not enough money. The millionaires say that there's not enough money. And then people in poverty say there's not enough money. So go ahead, write it all down, because the things that we experience at any level, normally at a higher level, that you think that once you get there is going to be so amazing. You get there and you think, oh my God, that song, more money, more problems, more bills, more stress, right? That is the story that kind of seems to go all the way up to the top. And a lot of times people don't realize that is a story, right? If we cannot be happy and excited with what we have, if we cannot be excited, right? I've heard everything from my house is too small, my children aren't the right children, my husband's an ass. I've heard it all. Sorry, Mama. I did not mean to say that. But I've heard it all. I've heard everything. There's nothing that you can say that is as anything new under the sun. So just start to journal and write totally what you feel is present. What is the story that you are telling yourself over and over and over and over and over and over and over again that's got you so deep on that hamster wheel that you are literally cannot get off? And I want you to really just start to journal it. I want to be, this is the story. This is the lie kind of that I bought into, right? We cannot drink poison of anger, hate, and bitterness and expect somebody else to get sick. We are the ones that are getting sick, right? Yes, they wronged you. Yes, they hurt you. But by you entertaining that, by you reliving that story, if only my parents were better, if only I wasn't adopted, if only I could, my dad didn't molest me, if only I wasn't raped, if only I wasn't, the stories are real. They are absolutely real. There are some traumatic stories. I am not denying that. I've had 3 stillborns where I had to deliver dead babies. It is very traumatic, but I do not want to be stuck in that story, right? Because that was a story. Yes, it's traumatic, but that's not my future. That's not where I'm going. It was a traumatic incident that happened. It was an incident. It sucked. It was horrible. The person that happened to, I feel so sorry for you. I just want to cry, but at the same time, I'm calling you into your greatness. That story is not who you are. Right? That story is not who you are, right? I am not the victim. I am not the person that, yes, this tragedy may have happened in my life, but it is not who I am. And I'm choosing, there's a big word here. I am choosing today to let it go. So go start writing your story, right? When I was in high school, I had a bunch of girls that were, really kind of mean to me. But if I let that story, right, and I learned really early on that I had to drop that story, right, because that story was not serving my mission on the planet, right? All of a sudden, that was my excuse for everything, right? And then I was like, oh my God, at the end of the day, those moments gave me such an exorbitant amount of knowing who I am. Now, at the time, of course, I was had an eating disorder over it. I was in the why me, right? When we start saying why me, it's why not you? And the whole universe kind of comes on you like a tsunami. So today is the day that we're going to kind of take ownership. We're going to say, okay, this was the story, and I'm going to now separate from the story, because if we can kind of separate from our stories, we can really get free. So I love it. Oh, Casey, I love you. I love you. I love you. Not being in control. Yes. Okay. Carla, I love you. Okay. So let's talk a little bit about control. Are we any control of anything, right? And when you look at it, start Google, because that was a big thing. I am a control freak. I realize that I am 100% a control freak, right? Getting ready for you guys. Oh my gosh, I never do notes, right? I wanted to show up so beautifully for you guys, right? It was so important. It caused a level of anxiety and fear over this past week to show up to do this course, but it was kind of okay, I'm being called into something. I need to step into it, and I need to own it, right? I need to just own it, because right now me saying, oh my gosh, I kind of want to get the flu, right? I kind of want to get the flu. Why do I kind of want to get the flu? Because this was scary. This was stepping out into a realm that I am truly not comfortable stepping out. I'm okay stepping into a realm that I really know well, and I do know anxiety, depression well, but I do not know how to kind of do the note thing, get in alignment. That is a very scary place for me. So we are writing. I love you guys. Oh, yes. We are writing what stresses you the heck out. I'm keeping it PG for my mama. Okay, what stresses you the heck out? If we cannot identify it, if we cannot identify the limiting beliefs, there is no being conquered over it. You will be powerless. And that is what the story does. The story kind of makes you powerless. My parents weren't rich. My parents were rich. I had everything. I had nothing, right? It's all a story. So if we can kind of rewrite the story the way that we want to rewrite it and the way that we want to choose it, there is healing for all of us. Okay, and I truly believe that when one of us gets set free and we start popping like popcorn, everybody starts popping like popcorn. So do you guys have your stories? Oh, I love you, Rebecca. I love it. Rebecca is so beautiful. She's amazing. I just love walking beside her, and she just helps me start popping. And Rebecca, if you've ever seen Rebecca, everywhere Rebecca goes, she just looks beautiful, and that's just how it is. And so I'm upping my level of game. Rebecca's probably oh my God, you put makeup on for this. I'm yes, I did. Because Rebecca's got a high standard, and I love that standard, right? I love being around people with high standard, because when you're around somebody with a high standard, your standards raise, right? And with high tide on the planet, right? When we all start raising our standards, all boats rise. Okay, so that's what I want you to think. To the degree that you're willing to get free is the degree that you can help others get free, right? You cannot walk through anything and expect others, like if you walk through it and you don't help anybody else get through it, then I truly feel like that is a gift that you have just kind of chosen to say, well, I broke free of it, but I don't want to help anybody else break free of it. I want to see other people suffer. And then all of a sudden now you get dragged back into your own suffering, right? Because of the degree that you're willing to help and really God given us all gifts. We've got to be able to walk and help people get free. Oh, I love you. Going global. Yes, yes, yes. Iron sharpens iron. I love you. Yes. Okay, so this is where I want you to just kind of playful out. This is sometimes the story that has been over playing on repeat, right? Whatever it is. And I've got stories that let's say I got, my mom died of cancer. If people loved me, that's playing on repeat. If I'm not enough, I'm not good enough. Write it all out and type it. Like, this is the moment that if you cannot be real and raw with yourself and really go to that core point of what's really going on inside, there is no real chance for change. This is going to be a feel-good message, and that's really not what my calling is on the planet. My calling is to really see you guys get set free to a level that you guys can go run a race, play full out, and it's not because of a past situation that's causing you to get drawn back and stuck. So one of my biggest things is, okay, go deep and start to let spirit flow. Most people say, I just can't hear God. And it's like, no, you can hear God. You just can't hear him through the anger, through the depression, and through the story. So I'm asking you today, and this is a daily practice. This isn't something that you're just going to pick up the one time that you see me and just start writing your story. Every morning, even if it's 5 minutes, just start writing and getting it out. So we want to get whatever's inside out. If we cannot get those feelings out, we cannot let flow come in, right? We cannot let flow come in. So yes. You can't fix what you don't identify. Yes, that is so true. So if we cannot identify the problem, we cannot fix it. And many of you have been playing the same story on repeat, on tape, over and over again, to the point that the story is so exuberant, right? I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. No one likes me. No one loves me. No one wants to be around me. And I'm telling you today that is an old story. That is an untrue story. The scriptures say whatever is good, pure, noble, meditate on these day and night. Is your story worthy of meditating on day and night, right? Your story becomes your life. If you believe that you can have, right? I've heard so many times, and it's easy kind of to see it being around highly successful people. I have a group of friends that are so highly successful. We're talking 7 figures. It would like blow your mind. And then I have a whole circle of friends that's in poverty, right? There's a mindset that's going on, right? They still have issues. They have big issues. But the money issue, they think money's fun. Money's just a currency. Money doesn't make me worthy or not, right? They just like own the fact that it's just money, right? People that are in poverty have a story around money. Story is the root of evil. Stories is right. We have the same thing with anxiety and fear. There's a story that keep people stuck in anxiety, depression, and fear. So what is that story? Identify that story. Yes. Okay. Hit the pause, y'all. Oh, I love it. Okay. So go deep, start, type in the comments, be bold. Remember, these are just thoughts. They are not good or bad. They are just thought. Nothing is more of them playing on repeat. So we're just being aware of what is coming forward. So are you guys journaling? Oh, love this. Kelly is on fire. I love you, girlfriend. I wasn't on fire 20 minutes ago. I was like having a full-on panic attack about coming. And then I was like, okay, Spirit, I just have to let you take over because this is like, I'm experiencing anxiety and fear to a level. But, this morning he had me journaling. He had me thinking of possibilities. I started to fix my gaze on things above, and it got me out of my momentary stress. Okay. So I want you to ask when you write your story, this is the next step. Is this really true? Right? Is this really true? So a lot of times, I'm not worthy. Okay. Or no one loves me. Okay. This is an easy one because no one loves me. I love this. No one loves me. Okay. So you're trying to tell me that your parents never loved you. The fact that you're on the planet, whether you are adopted or not, somebody loved you enough to have you on this planet. Someone loved you enough to not terminate the pregnancy. Even if they tried to terminate the pregnancy and you are here, there was divine intervention, and therefore there is a reason and a purpose that you are here. I believe that there is no accidents. So no one loves me. Secondly, do you have children, right? Do you love your children, right? A parent loves their children. You want good things for your children. Even better things for your children than yourself, right? So when I hear that no one loves you, I think, oh my gosh, even the worst parents on the planet, even the worst parents, right? And in your mind, the worst, because we're all kind of like playing here. Even the worst parents, right? That maybe even abused you or maybe even hurt you or emotionally, physically did something outrageous. Even those parents, right? They still love you, right? Hurting people hurt people. If they weren't hurting or they weren't abused, I promise you the abuse would have stopped, right? Nobody's perfect. There was only one perfect person on the planet. We hung him on a cross and we stuck a shake through his side and we watched him die. So there's no perfect person on the planet. We cannot be perfect enough. So if your thing is, I've got to be perfect, I got to be perfect, I got to be perfect, there is no such thing. That is a lie. That is kind of like, if I was only perfect, if I was only good enough, if I was only this, it's a belief that if I was only this, then this could happen for me. And when you really start getting into that energy, there is no end in sight, right? It's like a hamster on the wheel, and we can never be enough. We can never be good enough. There's never, right? We don't have to, we are saved by faith through grace, not by works, right? So there's nothing we can do work-wise that can make us good enough, right? Even at my highest, even if I were to bring my A game, like when I'm looking over here, I'm seeing all the spelling errors. I mean, it's like, oh my gosh, right? What comes up for me sometimes, like, I shouldn't even be teaching. I can't even spell, right? BS, because if that was the case, right, if I had to be perfect in order to come here and do a live, you guys would never see me on a live ever, right? Because I'm looking at here and I'm thinking, oh my God, this chick doesn't even know how to write or read. So, okay, so talk about, is this really true? I'm bringing it back. Is this really true? Is the story really true? And I love going into the no one loves me, because this is often a thing that we kind of play over and over and over again. But I truly have to say that if you're here on the planet, if you are truly here on the planet, that you are loved. There is no way to kind of fully come out on this planet without some sort of love. Yes, you may have a beautiful adoption story. You may have a beautiful, I was left in a dumpster story. I don't know what your story is, but at the end of the day, for you to even be on the planet, there was a higher purpose at work in your life, right? There's no mistakes and there's no throwaways. So even if you've always felt that way, that is just a lie that you've bought into. So I want you right now to say what the story is and just kind of write it out. What is the story? And then ask yourself, is this really true? And I want you to kind of take your hand over your heart. Hey, Dale. I want you to take your hand over your heart and take a deep breath in and ask yourself, is this really true? And it could have felt like it was true. If you've been raped, there's a sense of I'm not worthy. But when you think about it, the fact that you've overcome it, the fact that you're here today, the fact that your life is not over, oh my God, you are so worthy. You're so worthy to be here on the planet. But I can't do the work for you. I can't tell you what I see because I know how great you are. God's been pouring into me for this course. And oh my God, there's so much love. It's unbelievable, right? There's so much love here. It's unbelievable. It's so unbelievable. It's so much love and joy for you guys. And there's just a way to really just kind of own it and say, okay, I don't have that belief yet, but I'm going to try it on, right? I'm going to try it on. What does it feel like? What does it feel like if I was so loved, right? If I was so loved, if I was so worthy, what does that feel like? And I want you to embody it, like you own it, like that is your story. I am so worthy. I am so worthy to give and receive love, right? The universe loves me. God has my back. Everything I do is easy and effortless. And I want you to start to flood yourself. And you can journal this. You can start to speak it out loud. What are some amazing things about you that are just freaking awesome, right? That are just so awesome that no one else, it's just the way it is, right? It's just the way it is. And I love it when I do this because a lot of times we have things in our life that are just the way it is. These are just the way it is, right? My husband loves me. It's just the way it is. Money comes easy to me. It's just the way it is. Or, maybe every time I pull into a parking lot, I get the best spot. It's just the way it is. My house is always clean. It's just the way it is. My house is always a mess. It's just the way it is. But in a good way. Does that make sense? Like even like looking around and there's sometimes chaos going on and we've got, a full house. I've got my entire upstairs. I have people living here, right? And I love it, right? It's like there's beautiful chaos. But if I had to have everything perfect, then oh my gosh, I would be like in a crazy space, in a crazy like, oh my gosh, what am I doing? What am I doing? But because I hold that this is beautiful, I mean, the fact that I had a girlfriend here at the house to be able to take my children and my dog away so I could be here live with you and fully present and not have 50,000 distractions. That is beautiful. That is miraculous. That is amazing, right? It's like I just hold it in the highest state of like, oh my gosh, how beautiful. How beautiful was it that the house just magically got cleared for this moment right now? That was just so beautiful. It was just so amazing. What in your life is so that it just shows up as this is how it is? And it could be simple as every time I drive, I get all green lights. It's just the way it is. Maybe it's like, my family is respectful. It's just the way it is. My family is a little crazy. It's just the way it is. What shows up is just the way it is. And I want you to see the story that you have around just the way it is. And I want this to kind of be positive. I don't want this to be a negative thing. I want this to be positive. Something positive that is just the way it is. It's just the way it is, right? It just shows up. This is just the way it is. And so you don't know any different. Yesterday I was talking to a good friend of mine. She's beautiful. We were talking about men, and all of a sudden she just said, in her personal relationship that it wasn't working. And then she's like, I go to like the VA and these men are like on me like bees and honey. And I'm like, okay, did you see the story? You told me that in your personal relationships, it's a struggle. But when you go to the VA, all these older men are on you like bees, like honey. And she kind of lit up and she was like, oh, that's the truth. She had it so deep in her that was the truth. That's how it was. That's how it is. That's how it always has been. When she walks through the VA, people are on her like bees on honey. What happens a lot of times is that is the reality that she is holding. But in this other area, she's got an entirely different story that is going, right? My personal relationships don't work. It's hard. I just can't seem to make it work. But then over here, she's got this like, oh my God, I just show up. And, it's like all these, right? The other day, this was a beautiful thing. I changed the story, right? Because I can have some stories around my husband. My husband does not communicate. Right? He is not a big communicator, but I love that Danny Bono so much. It excites me. When he smiles, oh my God, I just light up. So I literally changed my story to my husband is so obsessed with me, he follows me around, right? My husband's so obsessed with me, he follows me around. And I was trying that on for a few days, and guess what? My husband was so obsessed with me, he showed up to my work like 3 times last week. And I was like, oh my God, I gotta change the story. I can't have him following me around. But he showed up, we had to put him to work. It was beautiful, right? Because I had changed the story, right? I had changed the story, and all of a sudden how he showed up in our relationship was so exciting and powerful because I created a new story around it. So what I'm trying to tell you is there's no story that you cannot change. There is no story that you cannot fix. We do amazing things together. I love it. Yes, Melissa, I cook amazing meals, right? Okay, so Melissa, when you think about food and you think I cook amazing meals, you get so amped up, you get so fired up, you are just like living in the zone. That kind of energy is what has created to where all of a sudden now you walk into a kitchen, you own it, and you feel it, their dreams coming alive. The same thing is true around your anxiety and your depression and your fear. There is an entire story that you have created that has keeping you stuck in it, right? All of a sudden stuck. You're like repeating that story over again. And I want you, exactly what Melissa did, I'm amazing cook, to start to like shift that story around. And so I want you to really right now say 10 things that you love. Right? You cannot be in a spirit of anger, hate, and resentment and start saying things that you're grateful for and love. They just do not coexist. So right now, shout out or write down 10 things that you are so grateful for and that you love. And at first it might be hard because you've been so stuck that you're like, oh, I can't even think of one. I've got the first one. You're alive and you're on the planet and you're able to even have Wi-Fi. That's like 3 things. I'm alive, I'm on the planet, I'm able to have Wi-Fi. This is freaking great. Years and years and years ago, to get all the information that is coming at us today, we would have to pay tens of thousands of hundreds of dollars to be what is free and available for you today online. It is extraordinary. Oh my God, I go to bed listening to stuff. I'm waking up listening to stuff. I am like, oh my gosh, this is extraordinary. What I would have had to pay tens of hundreds of thousands of dollars for just, even a few years back is now readily available to me. It's at my fingertips. This is freaking amazing. I mean, it's so amazing. I can't even explain it. So you have unlimited access to resources at any time to start putting in good things, right? So what are 10 things? Start listing some 10 things that you're so proud of, that you are so grateful for, that you're so excited for. My children, my work, maybe love. I have love in my life. I'm an amazing cook. I cook amazing meals. I love it that Melissa says that, because in Melissa's world, I can step in. I do not cook amazing meals, but I can cook amazing meals if that is what I choose to do. Okay. And if many of you know, yes, I am an artist. Yes, I love it. Okay. I am an artist. So get these things going. The more energy that you can put with it, the more excitement that you can kind of give life to your dreams. Hey, Ryan, my neighbor, woo, 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 lives in that beautiful house over there. I think he's single and he is a gorgeous hottie. Woo, woo, woo. But one day, I do have two little girls, Ryan. I think he's holding out for them. Oh, so anyway, I love you, Ryan. That was in good fun. So I love you all, Carrie. Yay. Okay, and one thing too is when we are not in our issues, like when we don't have our stress going on or our story going on, we can become playful, right? There's a playfulness about it. And when you're free, you start to want to play. And you're going to know that people sometimes don't want to play back, right? Because all of a sudden there's like this fear of like, oh my gosh, but there's a level of fear. I hope and pray one day that both my girls wind up with an amazing man like the neighbor Ryan. Yes, he might be way out of their age range, but when I see Ryan, he is loving, he's sweet, he's compassionate. He even takes my dog Max to sleep on his floor. I want my girls with somebody like that. That is the kind of energy and the spirit that I hope and pray that they find somebody that just loves people on the planet, is good to children, is good to babies, is good to animals, is good to my boys. Like, even when Danny went over to Harvey, Ryan came over with food. He's like, what do you need? What do you guys need? I'll take out the trash for you. It was beautiful. It was sweet. We got 2 more amazing neighbors moving in. I am so excited about, right? On the planet, Kelly Bell is going to get to have a friend next door. That is so exciting. That is worthy to be excited about, right? Every little thing that's happening. Now, of course, I live in a little slice of heaven, right? So if I had it as, oh my gosh, I just lost a piece of my view property, or I got this, or oh my gosh, this is so blah, 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 story, right? I choose to make everything that happens work for my good, right? Because God says, I do everything out for the good of those of you who are called in Christ Jesus, right? So I've chosen to believe that scripture is 100% true and 100% for me. Everything works out for the good. If I've got 50 neighbors popping up on this little piece of heaven, I'm excited. I finally get to do my community living at its finest, right? There's a part of me that has always wanted to do that, and I just look at it, I'm like, thank you, Jesus. I get to do that in this moment, in this time. That is not for everybody. That could be a story that people are like, heck no, that's not for me. And I also want to tell you, too, if anything comes to you or if someone speaks anything to you, we have this amazing Wonder Woman team in our organization, and I want you to do the Wonder Woman sign, right? If things come to you or if someone says something to you that you just do not want to receive, be like, I don't receive it, like the Wonder Woman, I don't receive it, right? We stop doing that. We kind of become like an open vessel that if anyone wants to say things or do things to us, we kind of just are like, it's truth. And we're taking somebody else's truth, somebody else's story, somebody else's anxiety, somebody else's depression, somebody else's BS, and then all of a sudden we let it come and penetrate right to the heart and core of who we are. And it's BS. Do you know what I mean? So if you hear something today, oh, I love Zumba. I love that you love Zumba. I love my grandbabies. Yes. My relationship with Jesus. Yes. Part of getting free for me, I was a major depression. And even after I found Jesus, I got into major depression. It wasn't until my habits started changing around the story and that's really why I went to school to become a family and marriage therapist. That's why I went into psychology. That's why it was really just to heal my own stuff, right? Because I was like, how do I get unstuck? I am completely stuck. It debilitates me. How do I get unstuck? And I'm telling you today that whatever you're feeding into here, right? This is like the power source, right? And whatever we're believing in here, right? So whatever as a man thinketh, so is he. So today, if you're not listening to great stuff, if you're listening to country, and there's nothing wrong with country music, but if it's about, I lost my dog, I lost my sister, and it's bringing you to a sad place, I encourage you, start popping in something else. Start listening to something else because you want to raise your vibration on the planet, right? We want to start to vibrate at a high level, and we want good things to happen for us, right? I believe every one of you on this call or on this live feed has amazing things fixing to happen for them. I've already done manifested it. I'm like, oh my God, amazing things. Goodness and grace are going to follow you. You're going to start to get job opportunities, and you're starting to get life happening to you, and money's going to flow into you like a magnet, and all of a sudden you're going to start to let go of all the crap that doesn't line up with that belief. So today, your 10 things. Yes. Hey, CJ, how are you? How are you? How are you? Yes. Right? Oh my gosh. Oh, Judy, I'm late. Yes, you'll catch up later. Okay, so start to journal and write down all those things that you are grateful for. If you cannot be grateful for anything, you are going to stay stuck. To the degree that you are willing to hold on to the stuck and the story and not be grateful is the degree that you are going to stay stuck. So we said this earlier, I'm going to just say it again because sometimes it takes 3 or 4 times for it to all of a sudden hit, and then it's like whoosh. We cannot drink poison of anger, hate, bitterness, and expect to live a life of freedom. We have to choose. Are we going to be free, or are we going to hold on to the story? And I'm not telling you the story is not valid. The story is very valid. The story is beyond valid. Yes, it happened. Yes, it's true. Yes, it might be horrific. But if you cannot detach and divorce the story, not what happened, but divorce the story, and create a new, compelling future and a story the way that you want it to be, the one that you choose, you will always stay stuck. Because that is like a hamster on a wheel, and I do not want my story to be, I've had 3 dead babies, people were mean to me, blah, 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 blah. I don't even want to speak, right? It just not even, oh my God, that energy is just not even what I want, right? We are more than conquerors. We are more than powerful, right? And everything that's happened to me has also brought an enormous amount of good in my life. I would not trade one moment of it for the life that I have now. Does that make sense? Okay, are you feeling that energy? I would not trade one moment of the pain for the life that I have now. Now, I could say stuck and say, oh my gosh, blah, 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 blah. I mean, if you guys have ever seen my kids, okay, they're pretty extraordinary, okay? And some of you might be like, no, I can't handle those kids. I can't even handle one day with those kids. And you saw the dog, right? The dog was pretty extraordinary. Okay, they're pretty extraordinary, loving, amazing kids, but I love them. They're my kids. And when I see them, I get such joy because that is the story that I have created, right? I could create all the other stories and tell you what they're not good at and what they don't do right and what they don't do this, right? And all the things and that make me not a good mother and blah, 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 blah. No, right? The Wonder Woman, we are blocking that. Anything that comes, and there's a level to receive of like, okay, is this true? What can I learn from it? What can I, learn for my highest good? But if someone is abusing you or hurting you or saying words that hurt you, you need to physically block. And then I'm going to say this because it's just kind of coming through. But there are some of you that need to let go of some certain friends of yours, right? If your group of circle, if your immediate circle is not helping you, or when you say, if you, and I don't mean like divorce them today, because you could come back and say, oh my God, I watched this live podcast. Oh my gosh, let's create magic, let's create miracles. And you could take that 5 group of people and you guys all mastermind and manifest some amazing, beautiful things. But if you have someone in your life that every day that you are calling, you're talking to, and when you get off the phone, you are so heavy and so weighed down and you feel like all of a sudden nothing is possible, you might want to start, as my friend Rebecca does, a weed out process, right? You have to start weeding out the things in your life. I just had a shake before I came on. Weed out some of the things in your life that don't align with you, right? Don't align with you. And I'm not talking about helping people up. I'm not talking about like lifting people up. I think on the planet we have a universal kind of like goodness to kind of like we want to raise people up. If we are at the top and we're sitting there by ourselves and we don't have a community of strong, amazing people standing beside us, it's lonely. I've been at the top of many companies only to look around and I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm the only one not going on the vacation. I'm the only one paying for the vacation. If I want my friends there, it's like, oh my gosh, it's like a whole thing. So I want to see, with high tide, all boats rise, and we want to lift one another up. Oh, I love my new chickens. Yes. Weed out what weighs you down, people, places, and things. Yes. So you have to, and you can still love them. So this is a key point. You can weed out, you can get rid of, but there's a level of love that you want to hold inside of you, right? Loving people, this does not mean I am not going to love them. I'm actually going to love them even more, right? Because just because that we're not energetically a match at this moment doesn't mean that I do not love them and hold them in the highest regard. Because when you start to do that for people, when you start to say, okay, I love my friend, let's just say Betty, and I don't know of a Betty, or, I do know of a Betty, but not anyone. But say there's a friend, Betty, that all of a sudden you're just, gravitating towards, but yet every time you get off the phone with Betty, you just feel like energetically, emotionally drained. You might want to weed that out, because maybe right now you're not strong enough vibrationally to hold up Betty, because you're drowning yourself, right? You're drowning yourself. So then it's like, if you don't have the life vest, there's no saving anyone else, because you're just like drowning in the water. And you want to just definitely hold Betty in the highest love. I love Betty. I want good things for Betty. Betty's amazing. I love her so much. I will definitely reach out and message her and text her every now and then, but I am not going to spend my days talking to Betty, because we are both drowning. And drowning person, what does another person that's drowning do? They cling, they hold, and they take you to the bottom with them. So this is in love, because a lot of people, I think, will cut off relationships and sever ties, and it happens in a very unhealthy way. And we want to switch the way that we do that, right? We want to switch the way that we do that, because that leaves broken people feeling broken. We want to say that, oh my God, I love them to the highest level, right? I lift them up. So that way when Betty ever calls, you're like, I love you, girlfriend, blah, blah, blah. You're not sucked into the story of it. You're not sucked into the emotions of it. And you're not feeling like, I just got to get away from Betty. I just got to, take off my clothes and just get away from Betty. I just can't have anything to do with Betty. No, you want when Betty calls, you're like, Betty girl, what's up? I love you. I love you. I love you. I have manifested your greatness, but we do not have to communicate every single day in order for me to know that I love you, right? So there's a beautiful blessing and releasing. And maybe there's a few people that you need to write down that have literally dragged you down. And I'm not talking about today go and breaking up with them. I'm talking about bring them a new story and see if they play. A lot of times when you create the new story, everybody around you creates the new story. And all of a sudden your 5 group of depressed, anxiety, fear-driven friends are now the most creative mastermind group ever. I've seen it happen. It's extraordinary. It's extraordinary. So, and there's sometimes that it's just not going to happen. If someone is committed to their story, they're committed to holding on to the story. If they are committed to just I'm married to my story. I'm not giving my story up. I like my funk. I'm staying in my funk. I'm not getting out of it. This feels good. People can get addicted to pain, right? We see it all the time. People can get addicted to pain, right? When someone gets addicted to pain and they're married to the story, you want to say, I love you. 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 I see great things for you, right? We always want to lift people up, right? We are called to, on the planet, to lift people up, but we don't have to necessarily be married to them, right? So there's somebody out there that needed that. Write your list down, right? If there's somebody that that's okay, we're not energetically a match, or every time I get on the phone and I know this personally. I've had people in my life that really just, every time you get on the phone, they want to just complain. All of a sudden, before you know it, you're like, what's just happened? I was so excited calling you, and now I'm just like, and it's not about making them right or wrong, because there's no right or wrong, right? When you start making other people wrong, that kind of boomerangs back at you, and then now you're in that same, I'm right, they're wrong, I'm right, they're wrong, and then all of a sudden you're going to see your friends get to be and you're going to be alone on an island, right? So if you hold everybody as everybody's right? There's no right or wrong in thinking, right? There's no right or wrong in thinking. Some thoughts are just better than others. Some vibrate at a higher frequency than others, and I want my thoughts to be vibrating at the highest frequency. That gets exciting. So what is that? Hey, Allison. Hey. Oh, hey. Woohoo. Dana McGrady is speaking next weekend. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay. I love you, girl. Our little soulpreneur. Dana wrote a beautiful book called Soul Entrepreneur. If you haven't gotten it, I would definitely say get it. She's just magical and amazing. Love you, love you, love you, Dana. Okay. So now that you have kind of written out, everything that's possible and your 10 things that you're grateful for, this is the moment that I want you to write the story that you have chosen. The story that you have chosen for your life. If you can write it any way that you choose, right? What is it? And I hear that baby, so I'm going to have to go because I got a nurse in just a little bit. What is the story that you now want to write? And we're almost done, so I'm wrapping this up. What is the story that you want to write? What is going to be the story that you are now creating, right? If it is that you are a multi-millionaire, what does that story look like? With ease, grace, and flow, money attracts me like water. With, there's never enough. If your story was, there's never enough, I'm not good enough, oh my God, I'm more than worthy. Everything in life that I want, I get with ease and effortless and grace, right? You get a chance to write the story. I want you to journal. So for the next 2 weeks, right? Actually, 3 weeks makes a habit, 21 days. So for the next 3 weeks, take 3 to 4 minutes or up to like 20 and just journal whatever you have going on inside, right? Whatever you have going on in here just needs to come out so you can kind of get free. And then I want you to step in. This is the last piece. I want you to step into a place where you are living fully in the moment. This is where anxiety lives kind of a fear of the future. Depression lives like dwelling in the past. You have to own the moment. If we cannot live in the moment is where everything lies, right? If you are not fully present in the moment, you cannot create magic. You're worried about what I got to do next and where I got to go next and what I got to do this, blah, blah. And then all of a sudden now your life is stuck in coulda, woulda, shoulda, I gotta do, and then all of a sudden now you are like in kind of like anxiety, a little bit of depression, and I'm wanting you to own the moment. So just taking a deep breath. We're gonna close this up because I know Christine took a baby outside that's needing to nurse. Go ahead and just take a few deep breaths. Breathe into your heart and say, I'm worthy to give and to receive love. My time on this planet is going to be so much fun, filled with excitement, loving, caring, playing full out, whatever your story is, right? It doesn't have to be my story. It could be your story. Magic happens effortless and easily. Money attracts to me effortless and easily. Good things happen to me. I am worthy and open to receive love for my highest good and for all of those who are around me. I am a blessing on the planet. I love God and God loves me. I love God and God loves me. Okay, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you, I love you. Hey, John, hey, I love you, I love you. This will stay on my live feed anytime that you need to come back to it. I love you guys. If there's anything that feels incomplete, you can always message me. And I might do another course. Right now, everything's kind of showing as kind of complete, but if there's something that comes up or I need to kind of tackle a part 2, or kind of maybe I watch the replay and see that something didn't quite align or work, or I missed out on this huge part, but I am just really believing and holding and praying that you got exactly what you needed. You got exactly what you needed to be set free. It's really about the journaling, getting it out, changing the story, changing the script, and owning your life and destiny. When someone wants to come up to you and says, you just don't know, say, oh, but I do know. And I know that you are more powerful than that story. I know that there are good things happening for you. I know that anything that you truly desire, you can make happen. But you have to own that story, right? I love you guys. God bless. Oh, Holly, listen, Holly is my like BFF. I love you, girl. I love you, girl. Let me just tell you about Holly real quick, because this is an extraordinary relationship I have in my life. Holly will tell me to do anything, and I just do it. I love this girl so much. And let me tell you, this girl has picked lice out of my hair when nobody else would. And Holly, one time, Danny just was on, he was working, and he needed a haircut. And all of a sudden, and if you guys know Holly, they are making so much money. It's incredible. She's just being blessed. This is a season of abundance in her life. And even during a season of abundance, Holly came over to the house. I was like, Holly, Danny needs a haircut. He's needing a haircut. He's working 7 days a week. He's, out on the water. He's getting home late. He's getting up early. And his hair was starting to kind of like, take a whole different shape. Holly's like, I got you, girl. I will be over there with scissors. And I'm thinking, what love, right? What love. A friend loveth at all times. And there's very few people on the planet. And you can't do that for everybody. And this is something someone needs to hear real quick. You can't do that for everybody, right? Because then you're opening yourself up to kind of get used and abused. But there's very special people in your life, right, that love you no matter what, that are just, the bond is tighter than anything on the planet. And those people, yes, even if you're not vibrationally or energetically a match, you want to go out of your way for those people because they have poured into you. They love you. They bleed your blood. When you're unhappy, they're unhappy. I mean, there's people that just love you so much. So when I think of a friend that asks me to do anything, right, Holly can kind of come up tomorrow and say, I want you to do this or I want you to do that. And I'm like, okay, Holly, what do I do? Where do I write the check? Who do I give my money to? Right? I just love her so much that if I can support her in any way, shape, shape, or form I do. And that's because I know that Holly will support me in any way, shape, or form. And it's extraordinary, beautiful, 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 beautiful relationship. I encourage you today, make your list of who is like that in your life and tell them thank you, right? Publicly, write it on their Facebook. Tell them thank you, thank you, thank you, and start lifting people up. If we can start to lift people up and start to speak life into people, right? Because people get hit all day long with junk. But if we can start to speak life and truth into people and start to waken people up with who they really are and who's God really called them to be, guess what? We're going to start to see major shifts on this planet. And when we start seeing major shifts on the planet, it gets exciting. One last thing, and then I'm wrapping this baby up. A lot of times we get jealous over other people's success. And I want you to take this on like you take on like your favorite coat. If it is available for someone else on this planet, it is available for you, right? Do you remember the guy that ran the 4-minute mile? And at first everyone was like, he did what? I mean, no one thought, he broke a limitation belief that nobody on the planet had broken. I mean, it was like this guy ran a 4-minute mile. Oh my gosh. Now high school kids are running 4-minute miles. 4-minute mile has been broken. You know what I mean? It was extraordinary when it happened. But now, so I want you to hold, if there's something good happening for somebody else, that it is also happening for myself. Right? I am also, like that gets really exciting when you start to partake in that energy, right? If there's something great happening for anyone else on the planet, it's also available for me, right? That gets extraordinary. So that all of a sudden takes away that jealousy. Because a lot of times when good things start happening for people, we can kind of get like, oh, it always happens for them. It never has. Story. Recreate that story, right? And then all of a sudden we can partake in it like, oh my God, my friend just hit top leader. Oh my gosh, that's so exciting. And you can start to celebrate with them in their victories. Life starts getting exciting for you, and all of a sudden things start happening and manifesting, and you cannot stop. When you start putting that much energy towards other people and their success and start really celebrating at a soul level, you will be taken over with a tsunami of goodness. You cannot put that much energy and that much excitement over people's successes and you not be successful yourself. So that is a tip. I love Jesus. Woo! Christian music. Yes. Deidre Phillips. This girl is amazing. She's a little older on the planet, but she has more energy than all my kids and me. She makes us all look like we are elders. And like she's just like a little like toddler bouncing around on the planet. Deidre, I love you. I could do an entire message on just your psychology. Deidre has an amazing psychology. She bounces around. She loves women. And she really has this spirit that she is so young. And when she gets around all these young people, she's like up in the morning. She's up late at night. She's dancing around. She's partying. I'm thinking, oh my God, Deidre, you make me look old. You make me look so old in spirit because you're just bouncing around. And she's like, who are we going to next? What are we doing? I mean, she's like the life of the party. So, and that I know is because she's got an extraordinary mindset. I love you. I love you guys. I love you. Hey, Nicole. I love you. Hey, Lori. Oh, my Lori's one of my besties from California. I love you. We got into some amazing fun trouble. Oh my God. When I think of fun, I also think of you, Lori. I love you. Kiss those beautiful babies. Have a beautiful and blessed day. And definitely, if you feel like this message helped you or could help other people, please share it. Also, write your own truth. I do believe that we all have gifts and talents. If we cannot step into our greatness, you have a story that's unique to you. You have a mouth that's unique to you. Your delivery is going to be different than mine, and your delivery is going to set somebody free that I can't, right? That my message doesn't get through to them. So speak your truth. In love, always speak your truth in love, right? When we start making people right or wrong for their beliefs, then all of a sudden we're on that little island over there and nobody's like hanging out with us, right? We're in the middle of the pond by ourselves. Oh, Heather Jean, I love you. Oh, thank you. I've got on our Keep Me Safe makeup and I love it. Our vision and mission is to keep people safe in products and in business, and we just have such an extraordinary group of women. It's so beautiful to get to spend my life with women pouring into women and just seeing us pop like popcorn as iron sharpens iron. Okay, I love you. I love you guys. Have a beautiful and blessed day, and I think Christine's done a really great job at keeping my baby quiet, so I love you. I love you all. Love you, Melissa. Yes. Write it out, journal it out, and get it out. I love you. Mwah.